What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Watching Paint Dry here on Another Letdown. My name is Zach from Another Letdown Media, and This Is Difficult video game podcast. I will be one of your hosts this evening. Watching Paint Dry is the show where we hang out at the end of a long week, long after we probably should have thought about going to bed, and work through the ridiculous backlog of miniatures we've accumulated over the years, / have continued to 3D print, as ill-advised as that is. There is a old adage that says if a miniatures painter ever runs out of things to paint, he or she will die. So we're just trying to stave off death for as long as we possibly can and have some conversation and good times while we do it. Joining me on the line are the mics. We've got our resident monkey handler, Broody Gambit.
Howdy.
And the Bill Lawrence of the video podcasting world. It's our producer, Chamali.
What's going on? Cool.
Yeah, so we're out here doing painting stuff. It's been a little while, due to some just chaos, I guess, last week. We all kind of got mixed up and didn't stream, so we're back. I'm kind of forgetting how to do this, but that's fine. That's fine. Who do we have today? What are we working on? I got Penguin.
I've got Tigra and Wily Kid.
Nice. So more Thundercats from Broody. And Chamali, you said you had more shield agents?
Yep. I just got to get out all these shield agents. 35 of the base troopers.
That's so many.
It's a lot.
Oh, God. I mean, if ever there was an application for... I don't even know how to... because they're so small, an airbrush wouldn't work. I mean, you could put some kind of a base coat down, but you'd still have to go back. Anyway, as with all the shows that we host on the Another Letdown Media channel, as well as the This Is Difficult podcast network at large, we believe in civil rights for absolutely everyone, and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. Let's paint. There are 3 of us. There we go. There's the button. I have my buttons on my iPad, separated by... it specifically says, there are 1 of you, there are 2 of you, there are 3 of you. Yeah, so I'm picking up where we left off on the Penguin. I guess I need the light on here. There we go. Now we can see what we're doing.
And you're doing classic Penguin. Right?
I am. I'm doing Burgess Meredith Penguin from Batman 1966, which means he's his various accessories, his umbrella, his top hat, his tie are very dark purple right now, but I am going to lighten that up with a mix of Emperor's Children and Gene Stealer that I've got over here. We'll see how that comes out. I've got a good reference image that somebody drew. I'll give a shout out to whoever drew that if I can figure out who it was. It was Eddie Dunn. He's a painter. I know a guy named Eddie Nunn, but I do not know Eddie Dunn.
You mentioned getting an airbrush or something, but I think... I still have other shield troopers to do. These are the base. So as per Zombicide, if you're unfamiliar with the game, basically... in this version, you play as the zombies. So shield would encapsulate the zombies. The shield troopers would be your basic zombies. Then you have your runners and your brutes, or your tanks, or fatties, however you want to call them.
Right.
And those have 14 of each model, while the main zombies have 35 total. So for those guys, even though there's less models, I might take the approach of a colored primer.
I've never had good luck with colored primer, but that's not to say that it doesn't work. I've only tried it a couple of times, and from what I understand, GW quote-unquote colored primer isn't actually primer.
No, I don't think GW... I know Army Painter has what they say is colored primer. But I don't know.
Army Painter is the one that I've been told is decent.
Yeah, I've never used it either, so I would be going into brand new territory with that one.
Yeah.
I did notice, however, that from my last painting session, some of these have a very glossy sheen to them from the paint must have separated, and I just wasn't paying attention.
Oh, interesting. That's unfortunate.
That's frustrating. Luckily, I have some anti-matte or some matte varnish that I can just throw on them if they end up looking too glossy.
Yeah.
I
still think that's too... I'm having trouble matching the color here. I've had to add a little red, and that didn't quite do it. Made it a little too pink. Try adding a little darker purple here.
That's frustrating.
Yeah. This is a very specific shade, and I don't want to... I don't want to compromise if I can help it. Oh, that may be way too dark. Oh! Did we get it? That might be it, actually. I think I just got it.
Good.
The wet palette needs to do its job. Oh, yes.
The other day, a TV theme song came onto Pandora, and it just made me happy.
What did? Sorry?
There was a theme song for a TV show.
Oh, okay. Oh, a TV theme song. Okay.
Yes. And it's just like one of those things that like it instantly brings you back to the show itself.
Yeah.
This one happened to be the Chuck theme song.
Oh, good one.
Cake.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch much Chuck. I didn't see all of it, but I knew enough about it to know the opening song.
Yeah. I watched. I certainly didn't watch the whole thing either. I watched enough to know what was going on because my roommates really liked it in college. But yeah, beyond that, I was just like, whatever. But yeah, it had a good theme song.
Is that what gave Zachary Levi his big break, or was he big before that?
It had to be, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really good at following a lot of like I don't know what you'd call that, like actors and
careers,
actresses, careers, yeah.
Yeah, like
Hollywood
yeah.
media, I guess. Yeah.
I know people like from where I know people, right? So like, you know, people know. Let's do an easy one. Zach Braff and Donald Faison, right? They're from Scrubs. But like, it wasn't until years and years later that I realized, oh wait, I've seen Donald Faison in Remember the Titans.
Yeah. But he wasn't big in that movie. Like,
he was a pretty prominent character. Like, what the heck did I just do? My elbow down and broke something.
I would say he was a big supporting cast character.
Yes. Yeah.
He wasn't one of the big four characters. The two quarterbacks, Denzel and the little girl, I would say, were the
Hayden Panettiere. Oh, sorry. Was that Dakota Fanning?
Hayden. Yeah, that was Hayden.
Was it? Yeah, it was Hayden Panettiere.
Mm-hmm. Before she disappeared.
Well, she kind of went nuts, if I recall correctly.
Oh, did she? Again?
Yeah. I only just found that out, like...
I mean, isn't she still on that, or wasn't she on that like Nashville show that aired like not too long ago?
Yes, she was, and it was around that time that some excrement hit the fan for her. If what I'm reading is to be believed, it's one of those random clickbait articles that you accidentally click on. You know what I mean? Like you meant to click something else.
Yes. But then you're like, oh, this actually does look interesting.
Yeah.
Or it's not what you thought it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hate that.
Okay, I'm very happy with that.
I know why clickbait exists. And I know that people get paid based off the clicks and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't understand. Generally, if I click something, I'm hitting back before the page even loads.
Yeah.
And with the speed of loading of pages these days, that's fast.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how they get, like, why they even do that. Like, there has to be some sort of, like, thing out there that, like, knows if the page even loaded or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and I mean, it brings up the whole Ticketmaster situation too. Like, so my big thing this week, other than, having been on vacation, was Foo Fighters tickets. Or Foo Fighters stealth announced a show about half an hour from where I live.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's my favorite band, or one of them, and. So my buddy and I were like, do we go? Are we ready to see Foo Fighters after, without Taylor Hawkins? And we had basically concluded no, with the caveat that we were going to look at ticket prices. And we logged in, and we used his pre-sale code because mine hadn't come through for some reason. I don't really understand how that all works. Fine, whatever. We got into the server. And we were like, wait, $45 for Foo Fighters? Now, granted, these are lawn seats, they're the cheap seats. But, like, again, budget conscious, COVID conscious, like, we're, and having seen them from better positions in the past with Taylor, we were just like, yeah, like lawn seats midweek on a school night, that's probably as good as we want to get, for what's going to be an unpredictable show. So we got our tickets, we're happy, we're moving on with our lives. I get a text from John yesterday. Tickets went on sale, like regular people tickets. The show sold out in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And the going price for lawn seats, the same seats that we purchased, because it's bring your own chair at that point, were $185.
That's stupid.
And that's 100% based on clicks. And I'm like, what is Ticketmaster? Like, come on.
I didn't realize that that's how they did their business.
That it is post-pandemic. That is
I didn't know that it was like based on clicks and all that.
That is new post-pandemic.
Interesting.
Every time you click on the link, it augments it by something like 0.5% or something like that.
So even if you don't buy the ticket, if you just click the look, it jacks
the price.
It's
completely. It should be. It is criminal. It is criminal. Hey RPD, how you doing?
Well, Ticketmaster got into the. I don't know the whole deal with it, but all I know is that something Taylor Swift, Ticketmaster, and now the government's involved, and it's like, what the frick?
Yeah. That's Of course, RPD would ask that right away. I told him to. Hang on. Let me finish this. Let's wrap up this discussion about Ticketmaster real quick first. I will definitely talk about my dinner issue last night. But yeah. So and then like yesterday, TWRP tickets went on sale, and I'm not in a financial I'm going to see Foo Fighters and Blink-182, and him coming up. I've got three concerts locked and loaded for the next 2 months. I'm good. I don't need to see a band that I've already seen 4 times that have the shortest set in the world just to laugh at their funny costumes again. But I, doing due diligence, I clicked on it. I was like, $25. That's not bad. Again, by the end of the day, $85 for the same tickets.
That's stupid.
I'm just like, this is insane. This is TWRP. They are not the most popular band in the world. Sure, they can sell out a small venue, but God, this makes me angry.
And here's where more of my frustration kicks in. If that money, let's say $25 goes towards the band, and 20 of that goes, or $5 goes towards the band, and then it goes up to $30. And then $10 goes towards the band, I'd be like, okay, well, at least the band's getting a bigger cut. No. That's
that is
how that works.
All going to Ticketmaster. Every
the band
dime.
gets set value.
It's fixed rate, yeah.
Yeah.
And how do I know that, you might ask? Do a quick Google search on Axl Rose's touring contract. He does not get paid if he does not show up on time. Which means that wherever he's playing, no matter how many people there are, he's getting a fixed amount. Where is... No, that's Abaddon Black.
No, some artists actually get paid based on number of ticket sales.
Right.
But
that's, still, it's ticket sales. It's not...
It's still how many sales of the tickets times this amount is what they get.
Right.
It's not, this ticket went for $35 and this one went for $185.
Right.
It's not, you get a bigger chunk of this ticket. No. Ticketmaster is frustrating, to say the least. But I don't go to concerts anymore, so
yeah, I go to way too many. But I'm a lot more picky about it than I was. When I was first out of college and just looking for something to do, that was easy. But I would see the same bands a lot of times, whether that was Motley Crue or Andrew McMahon. It didn't matter. I just wanted to see a show.
Yeah. We'll come back to this discussion. You can bring up the RPD.
Well, okay. So the reason I asked him to wait is because the reason we got onto this topic in the first place was we were talking about the week and whatnot. So I have been on school vacation, and that means I got to be home with my daughter all week, which is pretty cool. Saying nothing for the fact that, solo parenting makes me anxious, as I think it should. So there's some level of appropriate anxiousness there, or anxiety. So yesterday, I went to visit my parents. I was trying to hook up my dad's record player, and that was a comedy of errors. The receiver which was working when we moved it, is for some reason dead. So I got to buy him a new one. Fine, whatever. I get on my way home, and Katie's like, "Oh, well, you had a bad day. Let's do takeaway for dinner." And I was like, "Okay, great. Yeah, that's an awesome idea. When you get home, I'll run to the pizza restaurant and go get some pizza." Now, it's also important to note here that today, and this was forecasted, we had a colossal snowstorm. So we were, the initial plan was to go out to dinner or call out for dinner today, but we decided that was a dumb idea because we're not getting out of the house. more than is necessary. So Katie goes, well, by the time you get down to the pizza restaurant that we actually care about, it's, it's not going to be worth it because I have to work late. And I was like, all right, fine. Where are we ordering from? She's like, the burger restaurant. I'm like, yeah, all right, bet. That's a great idea. Love the burger restaurant. So she tries to call the burger restaurant. There's nobody answers. She's like, all right, what's plan B? I'm like, I don't know. Make a suggestion. And she suggests the place just down the road from us. I was like, sure. They have a sushi bowl that I like. So we try to call there. They're so busy, they've just disconnected the phone.
Wow.
Yep. And I did end up driving by just to see what was going on. And yeah, it was an absolute mob scene. So I don't blame them in any way, shape, or form. So then I was like, all right, fine. I have to go to Walmart anyway. I'll go to Subway. Nope. Subway was understaffed and closed. So I was like, all right, well, now what? Katie goes, just get like a frozen pizza or something like that. I was like, fine. I don't want it, but fine. So I get to Walmart, pick up the frozen pizza, and there's just people everywhere. And I'm like, okay, that's it. No more stream. I'm going to grab a beer and my Switch and play Metroid instead of streaming. So it was really just a conglomeration of things piling up to make me angry.
Yeah, Yep. I understand. I can relate to that.
And then to top that all off, I'm home with the kid today, which meant I did not get out to shovel until 5:30-ish at night, which meant I was shoveling by torchlight.
That's frustrating.
Yep. And I have not had time to shovel out a spot for my in-laws who are coming into town tomorrow, which of course makes me self-conscious because I don't want them to think I'm being lazy. I just wasn't able to shovel out their spot in the backyard.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, it has not been a relaxing vacation. But on the other hand, there is a but. This old device has been commissioned. Someone's bought it.
Nice.
Yeah. Can't wait to show off the final refurb. It's going to look so pretty. Like, oh my god, it's going to look gorgeous.
That's cool.
Yep. And since, our producer and one of our players is here at this moment, I can officially announce the return of Trapped in Arkham for April the 21st. We're going to have another charity stream, and I'm very excited about it.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. We are going to introduce a new element to the shenaniganery that I'm workshopping at the moment. It's going to be called the Wheel of Random Regret. And it will involve more than just me on Facecam. And rumor has it that we will have a baboon live in studio.
Oh, that's interesting. You need to work on that name, though. Wheel of Random Regret doesn't flow off the tongue.
That was kind of the intention.
Oh, okay.
Just to make it sound ridiculous.
Well, mission accomplished.
Yeah. So basically what's going to happen is if every $50 we raise, and I'll explain what we're raising money for in just a second, but every $50 raised, we will spin the wheel, and someone has to take a physical punishment. Someone with a webcam. So it will not always be me. I did the kombucha last time. It was actually pretty good. I've had it a few times since. But we thought it was going to be nasty. I have definitely given consideration. So I've been watching Clarkson's Farm Season 2. And
There's a Season 2?
What?
There's a Season 2?
There is. And they just started filming Season 3.
Cool.
And Clarkson, spoiler alert, Clarkson has decided to grow Carolina Reaper.
Whew. Okay. I'm excited. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, there's a chance that I might order a Carolina Reaper from Diddley Squad. I don't know if I want to though. It's gonna be so hard to control the stream while uncontrollably hiccuping.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad idea.
That might be a little too far, but it will probably be something in that vein for me.
So it's a bad idea because if something goes out of control, you need to control the stream.
Yeah.
However, having a baboon...
I could feed it to the baboon, that's true. Hey, Alex, your name came up. Here, eat this pepper. That's savage.
It's mean.
It is mean. Or if we knew someone that was from the Carolinas...
Hey, Broody!
Yeah.
You want I should send you a Carolina Reaper from Diddley Squat Farm?
I would prefer not.
I mean, you do have that Alice Cooper hot sauce. We could do something with that.
That is delicious.
I know, it's so good. I've had that too. On and off.
Some folks that I used to work with got me some hot sauce. And I opened one up today. My wife made jambalaya.
Ooh, good stuff.
And it just wasn't enough hot for me. So I didn't want to add like a hot sauce that had too much like Mexican influences.
Sure,
so
you want something straightforward.
Yeah. But this one was a garlic hot sauce.
Yes, my favorite.
It was delicious.
It wasn't by chance ghostly garlic from Pepper Palace, was it?
It was not.
Because that is unequivocally my favorite hot sauce. Although it's not like the best it's not perfect for everything, as one would expect with hot sauces. Like a lot of them have very specific uses.
Yeah, that's true.
So I decided. So I wasn't sure when my copy of Metroid Prime Reload or Remastered was coming in. So I foolishly decided to start playing Super Metroid again.
Wow.
Just by watching, I watched so many playthroughs of that game. I was holding Kara late at night, early on, and boy, have I learned a lot. I actually know the whole flow of the game now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know the sequence.
That's cool.
I don't necessarily know exactly where everything is, but I'm like, okay, that exit heads toward Brinstar, that heads toward Meridia, that heads toward Criteria, wherever. It's much easier this time. All right, I think Penguin is just about done here. I gotta finish up a couple of details, but he's looking pretty rad. Yeah. And yes, RPD, that is exactly what friends are for. Feeding each other Carolina Reaper. But I think from what it sounds, Broody, we're gonna have you, me, Jared, obviously Alex because he'll be in studio with me, Greg, and Kirkman on cameras.
Okay.
So those will
for
be
shenanigans.
Yep, that'll be for the Wheel of Random Regret. And for like, I think it'll be kind of cool to, you know, when we first go live, to have everybody just kind of hanging out. I mean, once we start playing, we'll kill the cameras so we're not taking up bandwidth. Until such time as we need them.
Bandwidth or screen time space?
Yes.
Perfect.
This turning on a stone. All right, I want to try one more thing here real quick. I noticed that like Burgess Meredith's cheeks are particularly like flushed. So I want to try and do something with that. I think what I'm going to do is water down some contrast paint and see what happens. I want to suggest having let RPD choose a game for someone's stream as an option for a regret or with a side hustle that's A, bit too indulgent, and B, firmly locking in the baboon is getting the
I mean,
that's probably, it's a great idea, RPD, but like, I'm of those of us who are on the show, I'm the only one who consistently streams.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. But it is, in theory, a fantastically excellent idea.
It will not be executed.
There we go. What have I done? Oh, I just threw my brush across the table. Don't do that, idiot. Flat goal number for a stream of Cthulhu. Oh, yeah. I can do something like that. I honestly, so I downloaded, I mean, Jamal, you posted the Humble Bundle recently that had Gotham Knights in.
Correct.
And I got it. Adam did. Did you as well?
Not yet.
No.
It's
well,
on sale still for 3 more days.
Yes. And there were like 2 or 3 Lovecraft games in there that I'm actually really excited about. One of them might be blocked from streaming. I'm not sure. It might not be able to be streamed because of Twitch rules. But one of them definitely looks streamable and a lot of fun. So I'm hoping around Halloween this year, if everything goes as expected, we'll get another Cthulhu game on the show. And we'll probably have to take a break from whatever comic book centric game we happen to be playing at the moment, but that's fine. I mean, quite frankly, we don't know exactly when some of these comic book games are coming out, so.
Oh, Midnight Suns is on sale right now.
Yes, I know. I just got another payout from eBay, so I think that's gonna be on the list.
It's like $50 for like the
legendary collection.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I will probably be picking that up because I think once I'm done Chrono Trigger, that might be next.
I am still loving that game, so
I'm bummed that Gotham Knights wasn't as good as it could have been. But I'm not unexcited to play it. I mean, Broody, your testimony was pretty. Yeah, as I say, your testimony was pretty positive. So was my friend John's. So. Yeah, RPD. I noticed that was in my stream library, and I added it around Christmas time. So I presume that's one of the ones you bought me this year. I know it was. Yeah, Sucker for Love certainly looks entertaining. All right, I think I'm gonna call Penguin right here. I think he looks pretty rock solid. What do you guys think?
He looks pretty good.
If Gotham Knights goes so badly, we can just hashtag blame John. Yeah.
Gotham Knights isn't co-op, right?
No, it is.
It's co-op one player. It's two players.
It's 2 players.
It's not 4 players.
Right.
Except for like in the gauntlet mode.
Right.
Which is silly.
Yeah, that's my biggest gripe about it. Is like for a game that was marketed as it was, it should be fully co-op.
Yes. Here's a co-op game. You excited? Yeah. Here's 4 characters. Oh, that's exciting. 4-player co-op, right? It's co-op. It's 4-player co-op, right? It's co-op.
You're doing the Anakin and Padme meme, aren't you?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. One of them. I don't know my memes. I'm not good at those.
I know a few. I have a couple of key reactions that I like to use. You guys have seen those. What's going on with this? All right, starting number 2 tonight. This is a special one. I'm actually really excited about this one. This is Falcon for Marvel Crisis Protocol / OGS / whatever else we decide to use with it. When this shipped, and I have the picture of it. It was Captain America. It was Sam Wilson, Captain America. And I have painstakingly demade it, I think is the term, to be classic comic book Falcon, or a little closer to classic comic book Falcon. I think it'll work pretty well, and we'll see what happens. It looks like, what is it, Ed from Explosions?
Oh yeah,
had created some problems with this. I'm going to turn those into clouds. With a little bit of blue and black ink.
So the ones that are jetting out from the sides, maybe, I mean, if those were removed, it might even be a better cloud.
Yeah, I thought about that. But I think like the illusion that I'm going to try and give is like he's bursting through the cloud, so it's kind of pushing the clouds off to the sides, which is something you see in comic books but not in real life.
Okay. I trust you.
But that's
I think it's a little great regardless. But...
Well, it'll look all right anyway. There it is. Reference photo. Aha! That's what I'm looking for. Maybe. Is it? Yes. No? No. Harumph. Oh, I don't like that costume at all. All right, this one's fine. What? Ah. Ah, there we go. Got it. All right, so we're going to use a lot of red. Get some white in there. Now, here's a question. Do I do this sort of metallic-y red thing that I did with Iron Man? Where I paint things... No?
No.
Flat
Falcon's,
red? Flat red?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I meant for his wings, but I guess that's obvious.
I would still say no.
Yeah. All right. Cool. That's what I was leaning toward anyway. This is the one. How did you get in there? There it is. Yes. Okay, I can say one thing for Citadel Red. It comes out so smooth when it's fresh.
Reds in general are very easy to paint.
Yeah.
They're the opposite of yellows.
Oh, yellows are awful.
Yellow's a nightmare. Apparently Sucker for Love was well enough to... What? It's getting a chapter 2. Silly!
There's something I wanted to bring up about something. I can't remember what it was.
Slippery little devils.
Yeah. Rudy, what have you made any foods from any of your crazy cookbooks lately?
Oh yeah, good question.
I've made some pizzas from the TMNT cookbook.
I saw that.
That was dope.
That wasn't relatively. That was, I guess, relatively recently, not like super recently though.
That was,
right?
I actually ended up making some dough tonight to make pizza tomorrow.
Oh, that's good. That's super recent.
Yeah.
A little bit. I love a good homemade pizza. Like,
yep.
You can't achieve pizza oven temperatures at home. Like, that is a fact.
Not in a normal.
Not in right.
On my like Big Green Egg, like I can easily get it up to like 500 and cook it in there.
Yeah, but that's not pizza oven temperature though. Pizza oven temperature runs 750.
Oh.
So on my pellet smoker with the pizza oven attachment, I can get up to those 750s.
Right, and that's different, and that's delightful and fantastic. But you also, like, the other part of the pizza oven that you can't replicate at home is the belt system. Now, not all pizza restaurants use a bludgeon belt system, but that's, I don't know, that's my preferred method of cooking pizza.
I don't know what. Oh,
It's a conveyor belt that runs through a
Yeah.
700-degree oven for 10 minutes.
I prefer. So I really like stone cooked pizza.
Yeah.
Or oven, like brick ovens, things like that.
Yeah, when I'm cooking at home, I use a pizza stone. It's great. I love it.
No, I'm talking like restaurants.
No, I know.
Just
I'm building off
okay.
that. But when for whatever reason, I've never enjoyed the brick oven pizza. It comes off as gritty to me.
That's fair.
Now, I should be clear. If someone puts pizza in front of me, I'm going to eat that pizza. But
yes, I mean, of course, that's the only correct answer. It could be like the worst pizza in the world. You're like, this isn't good.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna eat.
St. Louis pizza. Sorry, Paul. Your pizza's bad. St. Louis style pizza is terrible, but I will still eat it.
What is St. Louis style pizza?
Bad. Don't eat it. That's genuinely, that's all you need to know. It's bad. Don't eat it.
I think I got a good base coat done.
Uh-oh. I think I've lost you guys.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Good.
No, I hear you, Chamali. Broody, you trailed off there.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. No, I was just saying I've got the base coat done.
Nice.
Frick. I really hate when details on minis are not detailed enough. Like, it's detailed enough to be raised or something like that, but not detailed enough to have any details besides the fact that it's just barely raised.
Yep.
Like, it's not even like just a flat circle where you can like do your own detail. It's
right.
Like it's trying to be a symbol,
yep,
but it's just not. Okay, I'll come back to you. To hit all the white spots. Anyways, you're saying pizza. You're making that from the TMNT cookbook?
Yep.
What are you gonna make with it? What's your recipe this time? Same one as last time?
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna use up the last of my leftover like pepperonis and do the classic New York style.
So good.
So yeah, nothing fancy.
Okay, so I just freehanded a bunch of details onto Falcon, and it looks so good. I'm really, really, like, obscenely happy with this. Oh, nice, RPD. It took me forever to escape a second time. He's playing Hades.
Oh, wow. Good for you, dude. It took me forever to escape the first time.
Yeah, that too.
I was gonna say, I never actually escaped.
But then again, I bought it in early access, so...
Yeah. They've patched it into Oblivion since we played.
I actually really like how that shield logo came out.
Hang on, I'll take a look.
I got 2 different ones here.
Oh, yeah.
And I like the white on the outside. Very much so. There's a lot of them. I'm going to start doing more white on the insides later on. I just start mixed it up, like whether I filled it in or not.
I like what that implies. Like, certain shield agents have certainly... Oh, crap, my camera's... That's what happened. Certain shield agents have been around for longer than others.
Yep. And different, I mean, they'll have different uniforms or slightly different uniforms.
Yeah.
Older styles or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of the world, you're not really putting on... You're putting on whatever you find. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
What comic book game are you playing right now?
I'm not at the moment. I am in between comic book games, which is why I'm playing Chrono Trigger. I decided to take a moment and enjoy some retro gaming, which is just, it's like coming home, you know?
How are you enjoying Chrono Trigger?
Oh my god, I love it. I love it so
How
much.
far are you?
Not very. We just learned magic.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Adam's been helping me a lot through it, just like in terms of mechanical stuff and keeping things rolling. It's things I would have eventually figured out on my own, but it's like camera brain, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, the boss that I was fighting when I killed the stream the other day, like I started to present as incredibly frustrated, but what was really happening was my camera brain was so bad that I just, like, I'm trying to be entertaining. I can't focus on, you know, watching this guy's tells and be entertaining at the same time.
Yeah.
And I had like 17 other things popping up on my computer at the same time that I needed to handle. So like I kind of killed the stream abruptly, but I wasn't upset about it in any way, shape, or form. I was actually really, really enjoying myself and didn't want to stop, but I just had to take care of some other things. But we'll be back at it. Not this week because my in-laws are in town. But yeah, soon.
How long are they in town for?
A week.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. We should be good to paint next week. Yeah, exactly. Exactly correct, RPD. I was trying not to be idle at all. And you know, there's only so much my quipping is the wrong word, but I guess complaining is the right word, because I do have a motif of complaining around here. There's only so much complaining that can be perceived as entertaining. But like, man, it's a glorious game. I'm so glad I get to play it finally.
You know, I know it's a comfort game for a lot of people. I am not one of them. I never actually beat Chrono Trigger myself, but it's one of those games that people like to go back to and
Yeah,
play multiple times.
Yeah, I don't know that it'll be one that I go back to, at least not in a hurry. For one thing, I'm playing on a borrowed cartridge. By borrowed cartridge, I mean Retron. But like, yeah, it's not like a Super Metroid for me, where I'm going to play that once every couple of years.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I'm really like, it's really fun. The soundtrack is really cool. At one point, there's very clearly, and Adam pointed it out, and I started singing along. It's the soundtrack is very clearly based on "Never Gonna Give You Up" by Rick Astley.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's cool. I didn't know that.
I also I may or may not have Sherlock Holmes my way out of a dungeon, like out of playing a dungeon.
What do you mean?
Well, they give you this hint as to what the code is, and I was like, wait, that's just the buttons on the controller spelled out phonetically. And I tried it and it worked, and Adam goes, you just skipped half the dungeon. I'm like, oops.
That's really cool.
It's always neat when you get to do stuff like that.
Yeah, it's neat, but I know it's gonna handcuff me later because I'm gonna be underleveled for something.
Maybe. That's the problem with older games like that, where it's just programmed. Oh, you have to be this level at this time.
Yeah.
You're here, so you have to do this. You should be here at this point.
Right.
You didn't run away from, or you ran away from too many random battles. Yeah. I hate random battles. I don't like the old style RPGs anymore.
That's fair. I get that. I'm not a big RPG player in that way. Like action RPGs, yes, great fun. But I also kind of just blunder my way through those.
Yeah, action games I can play a little better. Tactical RPGs I can do a little more.
Yep.
Because it's using, like, I feel that a lot of those old school RPGs, besides like certain bosses, it's mindless mash A run around.
Yep.
And I don't like that.
Nope. Yep. Right there with you.
So, and that's not all of them. And they take too long. So, Bravely Default is an old school RPG.
Yep.
But the combat goes so fast in that because of the way the system works that, and you have a button that just lets you repeat the last commands you did. So it doesn't bother me as much because it's real quick.
But I mean, the thing that really endears me to Chrono Trigger isn't the game. I mean, the story is great, but it's the sprite work and the music and just like the overall feel of it is really good.
Yes. I think that's why a lot of people like it. Like I said, it's probably one of the most popular RPGs of its era.
Well, I mean, it is a $250 cartridge on eBay.
If not the most popular
RPG
of its era.
I did just find. I was cleaning up my collection the other day, or this morning, I guess even, while Kara was attempting to take a nap and failing. A copy of Illusion of Gaia that I didn't know I had.
Is that the one I have? What's that?
Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I gotta look and see which Gaia game I have.
It's one that I know we've brought up on the podcast, and I don't know in what context.
There it is.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
The one. Don't have many, but
Yep, here's mine. I don't know where I got it. No idea. That's like half my Super Nintendo collection. I was like, I don't know where this came from. Like,
oh well.
but it's here. Oh, this is looking fantastic. I'm really happy with it. Other than that, too much water on the brush. Learning and growing. So Paul found a list this morning that I took issue with.
What's that?
It was a
The
list
Mega Man?
of rank, like tier rankings of Mega Man games.
Mm-hmm.
They had Mega Man 11 on on S tier. I was like, what? The game fundamentally violates what it means to be a Mega Man game.
Never played it.
It's
They're up to 11?
what's that?
They're up to 11?
Yeah.
11 came out.
9 and 10 that were like the revamp. I didn't realize they made it 11.
Yeah. 11 was like a whole new system. It's an
What?
odd number Mega Man. The odd numbered games are always incredibly difficult. For one reason or another. And this one is no exception. I had to turn it down to Wimpy Kitty. Like, Broody, you and I are notable Mega Man fans. And I consider both of us to be marginally competent at Mega Man. That's, me deliberately understating. Mega Man 11, I was like, oh, it's got 3 difficulty levels. Well, I don't feel the need to turn it all the way up to hard. That seems ridiculous. Let's run it on normal. Nope. Ended up having to, after 1 level, I had to turn it down to Wimpy Kitty Baby mode. I was like, that seems a little silly to me. And it's because they introduced this weird, like, time dilation mechanic that, like, is necessary even in the first level. And by necessary, I mean necessary to have complete and full control of it. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I remember when they introduced things like the super adapter, and like they give you a chance to learn the super adapter before they force you to use it, necessarily.
Yeah. So that one just makes you
It just drops you into the deep end.
New mechanic, you're a master of it, right?
Huh?
New mechanic, you're a master now, right?
Yep, that's how it works.
Oh, you are a robot master.
Yeah.
This is gonna get infuriating fast. I should have done these in a different style.
You want to explain what you mean?
Just going through all the details, and I have to do all the tiny detail work on all of them in this order because I did all the base coats.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I didn't think this process through fully. I was like, it's gonna be a conveyor belt, like something. This is gonna be great. I'll just do all the base coats. I can mindlessly do all that, and then I'll just do the next step and the next step, and it'll be great. To be fair, I did the first one because I did one completely through, and I was like, this wasn't so bad. And then I realized I'm doing like different details on all of these now.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever.
It happens.
Yeah. I'll find something else as a palette cleanser eventually.
We just call it learning and growing and move on.
Yeah.
Is it flashing twice? I don't know. Oh, I mentioned that I would explain what we're raising money for on the April 21st with the Arkham stream. So every year, my family, my extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, the whole 9 yards, ride in a charity ride for the Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center Cancer Division, the Dartmouth Cancer Center. And it's called the Proudy. It is a 100-mile bike tour, and it's difficult, to say the least. I only made it 48 miles last year because I had a blown tire. That's a whole other story. But we've done this for a lot of years at this point. And the entry, like the bare bones, entry registration fee is $150. So that's like the minimum that I want to raise. But I would like to be able to raise a lot more than that. And I think we can, leveraging the power of the mythos. And by the mythos, I mean Twitch. And we ride in the memory of my cousin's late father-in-law, Ray, who was just an absolute saint of a human being, who passed away from cancer a few years ago. So
that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was a huge bummer, and like I was still in college, I think, or like just out, and you're busy. I knew Ray really well. I mean, I grew up. My cousins and I all kind of grew up together via the farm, and even Josh, who I'm not related to, like he's basically a cousin to me, and his brother Jake, because I mean Josh ultimately married my cousin Heather, and Jake is my cousin Chris's best friend. So like when my daughter's old enough to talk, like Jake, despite having absolutely no relation to us, will still probably be Uncle Jake. Or cousin Jake or whatever. I don't know. Nomenclature is weird, man. But it's just that's how tight our family is, and I love that. So yeah, we will be in the standard way. Buy us a clue, buy us a reroll, buy us a whatever. Punish us in some way. I don't know. Curse Taffy into oblivion. It's always a good idea. Cult of Gloom has already pledged to curse Taffy to the point where he can no longer be cursed, or to the point where no blessing can uncurse him. I think is roughly the words Brian used. So I look forward to seeing that. Let's go with this one.
We are back.
Yeah. Any donations for Blessing Taffy will be doubled by Cult of Gloom's counter cursing. I do believe that was Brian's intention, yes.
So if I pledge $75 to bless Taffy, that means you hit your goal. Actually, you've exceeded your goal.
Yeah, that's more than.
Because
he'd have to pay to uncurse and then pay to bless. Or, sorry, unbless and
yes.
Curse.
So
we'll see how long Brian the Cult of Gloom's coffers hold.
$75 would reach the goal as a negation method for Taffy alone.
Yes.
That is the blessing. And then anything on top of that.
What'll probably happen is if I exceed the goal, I will just pay for my parents' registration or something like that too. I know I can do a straight donation, but I don't know. It's going to depend on how the Proudy wants to handle it. I know they've supported things like this before, so I just don't know what their logistics look like. But yeah, I'm very excited. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. We got Chris Kirkman coming to join us. He's one of the creators of Fate of the Elder Gods. He is in turn, of course, talking to Richard Launius, who is the creator of Arkham Horror. See if we can get him in the chat. Should be pretty cool. And I'm still waiting.
Richard did join in on a chat once. For,
I think it was one of the very first ones.
Yeah.
He was great. He was great fun to have around.
Richard has a game coming out here soon.
Yes, he does.
Games coming out, but the one I'm referring to is the Freedom 5 game.
Freedom 5! Can't wait. It's going to be good. Good stuff. I am really, really happy with this base coat on Falcon. All those details are freehand.
Wow.
That looks great.
Yeah. I'm really very, very pleased. The one difference between this model and the comic book one is he's got goggles, but I'm okay with goggles. I feel like Falcon, flying up that high, you probably need goggles, really. I know comics, hand wavy, whatever, but I think it makes more sense for him to have goggles than not. For the first time in a very long time, I'm going to employ the use of the Citadel Color app. Oh my god, they've completely changed it. Okay, here we go. Flesh. Eel flesh? Why would anybody need to paint eel flesh?
In case you're painting an eel, obviously.
Who paints eels?
Someone that's painting underwater stuff.
I feel like I've just insulted Namor. Ouch. There we go. Ow, 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 ow. I couldn't remember what my base coat is for darker skin tones. It's called catagen flesh. I guess that makes some amount of sense.
I would say... Oh, never mind.
Well, go on.
Nothing. Never mind.
Okay, fine, I won't. Jeez.
No. Oh shit.
That didn't sound
That
good.
sounded good.
That was all my paints falling over because I knocked the table.
Well, you're not supposed to knock the table. You shouldn't knock over the table.
Good news, it was the first time that's happened.
You shouldn't knock over tables. My aunt knocked over a table once. Once.
Bad news, all my paints are now disorganized. Whatever. I'll redo that eventually.
It's not like you're using a whole lot of them right now anyway.
I'm using white
Exactly.
and more white. There's too much paint on it. Come on.
I always get a little trigger happy when I'm painting, when I've got characters with gloves on. And I always slop paint over the gloves.
Yeah. You just throw it on.
Maybe a little bit excessive. That's alright, I can fix it. So it looks like, yeah.
So you're going to Gen Con.
I am. And I'm quite
Pretty,
excited.
you going to Gen Con too?
I am not going to Gen Con.
I've never been.
It's a fun trip.
It is a really fun trip.
But it's fun. It sounds expensive.
I mean, we have ways of making it less expensive than it is, but it is not cheap.
Well, from what I understand, you have to pay tickets for most things or something. I
Okay,
don't know.
so that is the big that right there is the big life hack that Alex and I learned year one. And we didn't realize that was a thing. So we didn't bother to buy any tickets. And we still had an absolute ball.
see.
So the point being, fun can be had without buying tickets. In fact, equal if not more fun.
Then how does this ticket thing even work? Explain to me this.
Basically, you have this book of tickets that some are for specific events, some are for not. They're called generic tickets, and you use them to get into different events. Whether that is a game session of some kind, or if it's something more like Letters Page Live. Letters Page Live usually uses specific tickets.
Do you have to buy them ahead of time?
Yes. Okay,
so is it a ticket book, or is it just you have to go and be like, okay, I want to go here, so
it's it's not a book. It's you get what you order.
So you have to order them before you even go to Gen Con?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. This is sounding way more complicated than I even knew about.
Yeah, it is frustratingly complicated.
I was just going to use that word.
Yeah. That is exactly why Alex and I have done a grand total of once. And it was because they were doing the SCRPG Live. And that is the only ticket either one of us bought. We bought that one ticket, and part of that was because one of the players wanted us in the crowd. Like, specifically Alex and me. For a reason. I was also... I always kind of... Like, I know how crazy and chaotic things get, so I often will back up Trevor if he needs it. It took a while. Like, I've been banging around the Greater Than Games booth since, like, their first PAX East. So it's just after the original game came out. I mean, quite honestly... Yep, it's right here. Adam happens to not be on the show tonight, so I can hold up this thing. That's my original set. That has seen many a demo. And when they started doing the Sentinel Tactics broadcasts, I was pulling cords for Trevor, and he was like, he didn't know who I was, but that's just what Adam, I think it was Adam, and maybe Paul asked me to do that year. And finally, like a couple sessions or a couple events of that, I got to know Trevor, and he was like, "Oh, you're actually, like a competent video type person." And Trevor and I are very good friends now, and we'll frequently bounce ideas off each other for various projects. But now, that's one of my responsibilities at Gen Con is to make sure Trevor's got what he needs and all covered, because I understand what he needs. And yes, hey Blink, it is me and a pair of mics. Blake, we were just talking about some of the ideas we've had for the upcoming Arkham charity event that I texted you about. We will be introducing a new element to the show. Tentatively, Chamali pointed out that it's not a very good name, and I agree with him. Which is kind of intentional, but we might change it. Something called the Wheel of Random Regret. For every something like $50 raised, we're going to spin the wheel and someone's going to take a punishment. So, even more fun this time around. Yeah.
Wheel of Regretful Machinations.
That's not bad.
Wheel of
Insanity.
The Wheel of the Bonzi Buddy.
The Wheel of Greg.
The Wheel of Greg. I like that. We should leave it at that. Wheel of Greg.
It's called the Wheel of Greg.
How badly do you want to take horror?
Oh, God. No, I think the Wheel of Regret needs to not impact the game. I think it needs to be just something silly. Oh, are you implying that we invoke the name of H-Man?
It's not a bad idea.
There's a strong chance we're going to have Sammy at the table. You realize that the name of H-Man is going to be invoked whether we want it to or not.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I put that away? I'm stupid. I did like half of this, half of his skin.
So yeah, I found out the other day that they're doing a white something or other zombicide, like a white death or something.
Yeah, White Death. Yeah, that looks
That's
interesting. There was a time in my life that I would have been like, Doug has Zombicide. We need to Eric that game. Ericing means completionist stuff. And now I'm just like, if Doug wants to get it, he knows about it. That's one of the big things that playing living card games taught me is like, if one person in the group has it, then not everybody needs to have it.
Correct. I feel that way about all games.
Yeah.
There are very few that I would say multiple copies would be a benefit.
Right. Now, caveat to that, of course, is if you're playing with multiple groups.
That's the only, but like.
But if your group is tight enough, you can generally be like, hey, so and so, you've got a copy of Red Dragon Inn. Can I borrow that?
I've never played that game.
Game's a lot of fun. I happen to mention that one just because it's one I've asked for to borrow before. And Alex is great about it. He knows I'll take care of it.
But if you're doing multiple groups, like you said, even at that time, like, you're probably not going to be playing the same game with both groups.
Right.
So, like, that's why I say you really don't need.
Right. Exactly.
And if you are, then someone in both groups, if you don't buy it, you don't need, like, someone in both groups can buy it.
Right.
2 different people in 2 different groups. You don't have to.
It's the first time I've done goggles that weren't blue.
Does he have yellow goggles?
Red, actually. Alright, I'm a fan of that. A little bit of...
I don't know what I... Yeah. Oh.
One of our old standbys, Broody. The lead belcher.
It's a classic.
Sure is. With good reason.
Ah.
Let me ask you this.
Go on.
How do you approach people if you find out that they're into a hobby that you're into?
What?
How do you personally approach someone if you find out that they're into a hobby that you're into?
So that's a difficult question. Like,
It is.
it really varies. Like, if I'm at Gen Con, Jay Handel, from Handel Arbor Games, put it an incredibly eloquent way. The phrase that was used was, we are introverts who can, at great personal struggle, pretend to be extroverted for a very short period of time before having to recharge our batteries in some way. That varies from person to person. What often happens is we will not go out of our way to engage with you. But if you engage with us about something we are passionate about, we will talk your ear off about it. And that is very much how I am. I'm kind of obnoxious that way.
I am the same way.
Tangentially related, my mom was driving me crazy this morning. She tried to text the family dinner plans. Again, my family is crazy close, and do giant family dinners every month. And she somehow managed, she sent it from her iPad. So every iOS user that she typed in got the message, but we all got them separately. Like, it didn't actually go to the group message, which I personally prefer, but that's fine. And the one person on an Android in our family, my sister-in-law, did not get it at all. And I was like, Mom, you can't send like, your iPad doesn't have cell data. You can't send messages to her. But of course, I wasn't that succinct about it. I went on a diatribe about SIM cards and cell signal. And my mom goes, you might as well have just written that in ancient Aramaic. And I was like, well, that's a me problem. I'll be honest.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, it is what it is, right?
No, I mean, that's what I would say. I'd be like, I'm sorry. I understand. Like, sometimes I can go off on tangents and rants about things that I understand very well, and I am skipping around sometimes, and it makes it even more confusing.
Right. Alright, a smaller brush now. Yeah, RPD, that, like, honestly, so my mom, I think I mentioned this to you, my mom specialized in early childhood autism. And so I, a fair amount of that knowledge has rubbed off. And I'm like, dang, this is... I get it. I hate having to do detail work on base coding. Freehanding I don't mind, but like trying to go over...
Is interesting. So these are the mooks, and I don't care about them, so I'm not going to actually go into super detail on these, but yet they're probably going to be the most used pieces that are going to be seen by the most people.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I didn't think of that until just now.
Yep, the struggle is real.
Because the heroes are going to be great. They're going to be like, I'm going to paint them a little more detail because they're going to be a lot more fun, a lot more unique, things like that.
Yeah.
But the mooks, they're not going to be out every game either.
Right.
Because
let's see. Yes, that is rule number 4, RPD.
Rule number 4.
A fight will go on as long as it has to.
Maybe one of these guys. Back to the theme songs. I somehow have the Jurassic Park theme song in my head for some reason. That's the one.
Love that song.
I don't know why.
Why not?
That's kind of where I was going with that, Birdie.
That's fair.
Good song. There are a lot worse songs you got stuck in your head. I had Let It Go from Frozen stuck in my head this morning. Which, admittedly, not a bad song. Just kind of played to death.
It is overplayed. That's my only gripe with it. I like other songs from that movie more.
Me too. Without a doubt.
However, there are some overplayed Disney songs that I really enjoy. Be Our Guest.
Yep. I was going to say Be Our Guest. It's got to be on there, right?
Yeah.
Make a Man Out of You from Mulan. Freaking love that song.
It's a good one. You're Welcome from
Moana, yep.
Moana. Yep. Good song.
It's a great song. A lot of fun. That's a good movie. It's like just a fun movie, you know?
Yeah. The Rock is a very energetic actor, and he could bring a lot of energy to a role and make a movie better than it has any right to be.
Yes. That is a very eloquent way of putting that. Yeah, I've always been a fan of The Rock. Even
That's probably the cleanest logo I've done so far. That looks pretty sick.
that looks beautiful.
Yeah. When you're constantly doing things, you're bound to improve.
Theoretically.
Yeah. Although I did have one teacher who said something that's always stuck with me. A teacher I didn't really care for, but every once in a while, even the worst teachers have a nugget of something that they can impart to you. And that was, practice doesn't make perfect; it makes permanent. So if you practice something the wrong way, like, oh, yeah, that'll stick with you forever.
That is a good point.
All right, there we go. That should be drained by now. Yep, sure is. Just a little bit of that on there. And let's do. How does that look? Nice. Clean up. There we go. Perfect. All right, so just to add a little pop of color to this, I'm gonna go ahead. So his little like wristamajig things that control like Red Wing and stuff, I'm gonna paint those green.
Okay.
I need to put the base coat of silver down first, though. Excuse me, Lead Belcher.
Same thing. Got any exciting plans this week?
Not really.
Rudy?
Also not really. Other than I'm meeting someone for dinner on Monday.
Is that exciting?
Hmm?
Why is that exciting?
I mean, it's just something out of the ordinary.
Ah,
Yeah.
more importantly, is the restaurant you are going to, good restaurant?
I'm not even sure if we're going to a restaurant or if we're just going to meet at one of our houses and eat.
Oh,
We're just meeting up for dinner to eat.
well, that's exciting.
And Wily Kid.
Hey, cool.
Oh, yeah. She looks good.
RPD says playing more Hades. Respect. I guess in that vein, me playing more Metroid. Like,
I want to go back to Hades, but at this point, it's like, well, I'll just go to Hades too.
yeah.
'Cause I technically beat Hades, but I never got to the second ending or the epilogue's ending, I guess. So, whatever.
I did not. I mean, I escaped, but that's as far as I ever got.
Good
I
game.
mean, I escaped several times, but
It was a really good game. But
yeah, it was an excellent game.
have we talked about going back to games on here before?
Not on here. We
Okay.
certainly talked about it on This Is Difficult, but
Do you, after you put down a game,
Mhm.
do you ever go back?
yeah.
And I'm not saying like,
You're not saying like in the Super Metroid sense that, you know, they play it every couple of years or so. No, I mean, yeah. So like
Hades, for example.
yeah. I was going to actually use the Lego Marvel game that you and I started as an example.
Oh yeah.
Like, I firmly think that we will at some point find ourselves just chit-chatting and be like, oh, let's turn on Lego Marvel.
That's a possibility.
Right? It's, it's a very specific game that has to do that. But yeah, like if I am not going to finish a game, like expressly not going to finish it, there's usually a reason for that.
So Lego Marvel, I would say, is in a category of its own because the mechanics are super simple and there's not really a story you need to worry about.
That's very fair. That's very fair.
Hades is slightly different. The story is really simple, being a roguelike. But the mechanics are slightly more difficult.
Yep.
So I would put that in a slightly more different category. And then the third category is something like, I don't know, like Skyrim or Mass Effect or something where you're in the middle of this story and then you put it down and you don't get back to it for a month or so and you have no idea what's going on. The mechanics aren't really super difficult, but the story is
vital.
Vital. And that is the game that I won't go back to.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
The mechanics being more difficult, I can go back to that.
Sure. I can relearn the mechanics.
Yes.
But yeah, to try and go back to something
to
that's
try to Yep. To try to piece together my story, where I was, that's the frustrating part.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. I'm not going to pull that off.
But where does a game like Borderlands fall?
Broody is our expert on Borderlands.
I go back to Borderlands all the time. Including just picking up and playing every so often.
See, I don't know if I could. So we were playing 3, and we stopped playing 3, and I don't think it's a story-heavy game, and I don't think it's mechanically heavy a game. Maybe that's why we dropped it in the first place. Oh, excuse me. But that is a game that I can't play solo though. I need to play it co-op.
I think that's why I've never played it. So I've heard it's so good.
What was that, Broody?
I played it both solo and co-op.
Well, that's interesting. I wish I had time to enjoy solo games more.
Yeah, me too.
I say that while I'm in the middle of playing Midnight Suns.
Well, I mean, my time to enjoy solo games is my stream time, you know?
Yeah. But I've been literally playing Midnight Suns since October when it came out, and I don't have like a ton of hours in. I mean, I have a significant amount, but it's not like
right
something that has been out for what, 5-6 months now, and yeah. With the hours I could have on it, I think I have less than 100 hours, almost 100.
Mm-hmm.
But in 6 months, that's not really a lot, to be honest.
Well, I mean, we're also at a different point in our lives than we were even a year ago.
Midnight Suns would fall in the mechanically complex, but story light game,
which is surprising for a comic book game, but
there is a story, and you could make it story heavy. It's just,
right.
I really don't give two flarks about that.
Yeah.
Now, where do you put into like, if you play through a game and then going back to like DLC that gets released after the fact?
See, I don't even look at that quite often. Like,
I don't go back to that game.
Yeah. Like Elden Ring DLC is dropping, and I'm like, I never finished the first one. Whatever. I know Paul and Josh and Colin are really excited about it, but I'm just like, I am unlikely to ever finish that game. It's great. I love it. It's one of my favorite games of all time, but I'm never going to finish it. Because I don't have that time.
So let me put it this way. Midnight Suns, if I beat that game, which I haven't yet, but that's because I'm literally at the last boss and I'm just like, I could go there, or I can just have fun.
What if I don't? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing. But if I were to beat that and then put the game down and go on to something else, I know I would not go back to that. Even with 2 other characters coming out, and I know I would enjoy playing them, and I know I would want to go in, and I just wouldn't do it. That's I know my personality, and I know that's like I would go on to the next game and start playing there, because once I put something down, I generally don't pick it back up, and if I do, it's not for a significant amount of time.
Yeah, it's to like look at something and then bow out.
I might try to pick it up, but it would never. It generally doesn't stick.
Yeah, it doesn't hold. Doesn't hold.
Yep. there are very few games that I put down and I've picked up again. I would say Mass Effect 1. I beat the first game 3 or 4 times.
Okay, so that's... Yeah, go ahead.
And I have never gone back and played it again after. Beaten it again after beating it those 3 or 4 times on the original Xbox. And I've owned it, and I bought it multiple times after that.
Mm-hmm.
But you were going to say?
So that's been an interesting thing as I replay through the Mass Effect games, and I've been procrastinating getting back to 3 just because yeah, RPD. I've been procrastinating getting back to those just because I've been distracted and not streaming as consistently. But like I've only beaten those a couple times each.
1 I beat 3 or 4 times. 2 I think I beat twice. 3 I barely beat once.
Yeah, that's roughly where I'm standing too.
3 is interesting. I dropped 3, and that is one of the few games that I went back to finish.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care for it as much, and I will remember this because we went to, it was PAX East in 2014, I want to say.
Uh-huh.
And there was a Mass Effect panel that we went to.
Yep.
And so that is when, so I had to force myself to beat it before going to that panel.
Yep.
And I was right near the end anyways, so that was one of the few games that I would say broke that rule.
Yeah.
Do you not have that, Rudy? Can you just go back to anything then?
Not anything. I do find myself, if I have to go back to a game after a while, I end up just restarting it.
Okay.
Like, there are several RPGs or whatever where it's like I've gotten 3/4 of the way through or almost to the final boss and like never did it, but then like it was like, oh, you know what, I should probably try and finish that game, and then I try and pick it back up and it's just like, I don't know what I'm doing, and
yeah,
then I end up restarting.
I've done that.
Yeah. But for the most part, I can pick up games and I'll go like come back for the DLC or pick it back up later. Like I finished Gotham Knights and started a new game plus to try and get the rest of the achievements, but then Mario Rabbids came out, and so I started playing that, and then I got Pokemon Legends Arceus, which I finished, or once I finished Mario Rabbids. And now that the DLC for Mario Rabbids came out, I'm probably going to go back to that before I go back to Gotham Knights. They haven't like released any real story DLC or anything like that, other than the 4-player like
Battle Arena thing.
Yeah, Battle Arena, whatever you want to call it.
What's the DLC in Mario Rabbids? I still haven't beaten that.
It is the like Tower of Doom with 4 O's.
Oh, interesting.
It's pretty much like a gauntlet. Like you're going through like several levels of the tower, and each level gets harder and harder, and you're trying to get to find Spawny at the top. And it's apparently like randomized and replayable and everything else like that.
Fascinating.
That's a game that I want to go back to. I don't know if I will.
Had so much fun with it.
I was playing that for a while. I got to the second world. I'm on the ice world and stuff like that. And then I realized I really want to just go back to Midnight Suns instead. And so I was playing that instead. Jumped onto that. But I do want to beat Mario Rabbids. I never beat the first one, but the second one I enjoyed a lot more for the brief time that I played with it. So.
All right. I think I've reached a stopping point for the night. Finally. Let that ink dry and we'll pick up where we left off next time. That's oh, hold on. Oh. This is what I've done with Falcon so far.
Oh, he looks good.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I've still got to do the cloud and I've just got to, a couple other things, but I'm pleased. Anyway. You guys good to call it? Broody, I know you are.
Yeah, I definitely am, yeah.
All right.
Finished about 10 minutes ago or something. 15 minutes ago.
All right, well, everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight for watching Paint Dry. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, follow, subscribe, do the whole thing, whatever. Do the thing. If you're just watching it here on Twitch, thanks for stopping by. I don't know when we'll be. I mean, we should be back for more painting next week. I think I'm probably going to end up taking this week off of regular streaming just because I need to make sure my in-laws are comfortable and everything's going swimmingly with that. So probably no Chrono Trigger this week, unfortunately, as much as I love it and I'm really enjoying it. It's just going to have to wait a little bit. Boys, this is always a highlight of my week. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
No problem.
I had a blast too. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, we will talk to you real soon. Have a great night and be safe. Be well. Bye.
Bye.